The wait was worth it, you guys. Over 3 years now since their hugely successful album Blurryface brought them mainstream attention and made them one of the most famous and loved bands in the entire world, 21 Pilots are finally back with their 5th studio album, Trench. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and of course today I am bringing you guys a review of the newest album from 21 Pilots, one of the most anticipated albums of this year, of course. Now, we actually were given 4 singles to kind of set a precedent for what this release was going to sound like, the first pair being Jumpsuit and Nico and the Niners, 2 songs that I obviously really did enjoy. I was kind of taken back because they were very moody, sort of ominous, and just dramatic overall, and that got me interested to see what was actually going to happen with this record. The other 2 singles, though, Levitate and My Blood, were very different from the first 2, at least to my ears. Levitate was kind of a quick verse song with a consistent drum beat throughout and basically rapping on the whole thing, while My Blood was a lot more catchy and more indie influenced, so it kind of gave us a mixture here of all different types of songs. I didn't really know what to expect overall for an album, though. Now, I was definitely a fan of Jumpsuit and Nico and the Niners, of course. I gave them both very positive reviews, but I will be honest, with time, I didn't really feel the need to kind of return to either of those just because they kind of have a particular mood to them and it's not so accessible for my ears for casual listening. So it's not like I was avoiding listening to those songs, but I just had to be in the proper mindset, the proper mood to kind of enjoy those songs truly. And that's when My Blood came out, which kind of saved everything for me because not that I didn't have hope for the record, but My Blood just kind of opened the door to okay, there's more to this album than just cryptic, dramatic, dark tone. It is a little bit dark, but it's dancey, if that makes any sense. It's a lot more cheerful sounding, I guess, and more singable and just catchy overall. And that's what made me excited to hear Trench in full because I was hoping for more tracks like that, and that's exactly what we got. So as I briefly mentioned, going into this album, I was kind of expecting most of it to kind of sound more like Jumpsuit and Nico, or even Levitate. And not that it doesn't sound like that, but there were definitely a lot of surprises for me. Those first couple of singles are very moody in the sense that they tell stories, and we get that a lot on the record, but it doesn't all sound the same, and that's why I like it. I wanted something more, some more substance, some more emotion, and of course that ominous vibe does continue on Trench, but in a different way, in more of an airy way. It's kind of delightful somehow. Tyler Joseph is really showing off his falsetto range on this record more than ever, and I just cannot get enough of it. It just kind of changes the mood. While it can still be haunting, it makes it feel a little bit happier, and those different vocals from Tyler and even the synth beats in the background really make for a much more dancey and indie sounding album that I really did not expect. And it's really great to see 21 Pilots using other instruments and just really experimenting with different sounds. And that's probably thanks to Paul Meany of Mute Math, who actually helped produce this album. So it's clear that he brought in a lot of that indie, electronic, and even rock influence. I'd personally say that this is 21 Pilots' most rock feeling album to date, and while it's still experimental, they're obviously utilizing more instruments and even an orchestra, other elements like that, while remaining experimental. It just sounds different, but it's a really good evolution for them. There's obviously many traces of past material on Trench, but executed in a different way, kind of brought together with other new sounds. The Hype and Legend feature ukulele, which takes us back to cuts from Blurryface, while Neon Gravestones and Levitate, of course, feature that more prominent rapping style from Tyler Joseph, another huge element from the past. But I have to say, just the way he delivers his vocals and his words, it sounds so powerful, especially on a track like Neon Gravestones. I think that's a really powerful message going on there. Take a look at those lyrics. I'm mostly enjoying songs that kind of fuse all of those elements into one, though. Cut My Lip, Morph, and even Chlorine are just so singable, so danceable, and they really feature the best of this duo's abilities. Smithereens is a really cute little shameless dedication to Jenna Joseph, Tyler's wife, of course, and I really like the simplicity in this one sonically. It kind of sounds like nothing they've ever really done before. It's relaxed, but very bright and honest, and of course self-aware, and the word choice there, Smithereens, just takes me way back to Self-Titled. Legend is another one that's very personal for Tyler. It's actually actually kind of a dedication to his grandfather who recently passed away during the recording of Trench. And this one's kind of personal for me because I really do relate to the subject matter. He's kind of hinting that his grandfather maybe had Alzheimer's or dementia or something, didn't really know who Tyler was towards the end. And I went through that about a year ago with my own grandmother, and it really sucks to experience something like that. And I think it's really great though that he was able to, you know, compose a song like about that, but still keeping it very like positive. It's an awful thing, but the cheerfulness in this song just makes it feel more like a celebration of that person's life that he lost. And while it is sad, it just puts a smile on my face in remembrance. My only issue with this album, if I had to have one really, is that some of the songs are a bit long. It makes the record feel longer if you're not really in the mood to just sit down and listen to it. About half of the songs on Trench are over 4 minutes, and that can be kind of hard for some listeners. I personally haven't really had that issue yet just because I've been so hyped over this. Don't believe the hype, but literally I've just been so like interested and like excited to hear these songs that every single time I've cycled through it, I don't get bored. I haven't yet, at least. I do think maybe Neon Gravestones or Bandito or even the closer, Leave the City, could be cut just a bit shorter, but other longer songs like Morph, Cut My Lip, and Chlorine I think are definitely justified to be in the 4 to 5 minute range because they have a lot more to offer. But please take that opinion with a grain of salt. I truly do enjoy pretty much every single moment here. Some of the tracks I don't care for as much would have to be Levitate and Pet Cheetah. Now, I obviously liked Levitate. I gave it a track review. I thought it was a good song, and it is a good song. That doesn't mean these two are bad songs. I just don't feel the same excitement when listening to those songs. Levitate is kind of simple, and again, you have to be kind of in a mood to listen to it. In the context of the album, absolutely, but on its own, I'm not sure if I'm gonna return to that one. And then Pet Cheetah is very different. I think a lot of people are gonna like this one because it is very different and there's a lot going on in the track. It's catchy on its own, but it's just one of those ones that I didn't really connect with as much. But do not worry, I have a ton of favorites that I would love to praise right now, including Morph, Chlorine, The Hype, Cut My Lip, and of course Nico and the Niners. Those are like my top favorites here. It's seriously wild to be a big fan of the singles and then be even more taken back when you dive into the record and find that there are so many other gems on here that are even better than the singles, at least to my ears. That's exactly what happened to me going into Trench. I really kind of expected the opposite. I thought this was going to be more of a darker album, just more dramatic sounding, but it's actually a lot more cheerful, a lot more dancey, way more listenable than I ever thought, and I'm easily going to be returning to this over and over again. Trench is a really good progression for 21 Pilots. It feels like a more grown-up version of this band that just isn't afraid of taking risks and doing different things. There are a lot of topics explored here while still kind of connecting back to that same narrative of Trench. Now, I have to say that this is just an absolute thrill to endure. So many catchy, explosive hooks, danceable synths, and just an overall moody but engaging listen overall. I am so thrilled with this. I'm literally just, I have no words. I think this album is going to do extremely well for 21 Pilots. Obviously their fans are going to be all over, and I think even the radio are going to pick up a few of these songs. I'm not sure which ones because they're all kind of very different. They're not super radio friendly. Of course, for like alt radio or something, they're going to be played there, but I'm not too sure about top 40. But hey, Stressed Out and Heathens hit the radio. I did not really expect that, so who knows what will take off from Trench. But anyways, guys, please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what was your favorite track from Trench, and are you enjoying this album or are you not? Let me know why. I personally think this is a really great project that really shows what 21 Pilots are capable of, and I think it might even be better than Blurry Face. I don't know yet, time will tell, but like I said, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. If you happen to be new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I make videos about all types of bands and music and other things relating to this realm. And while you're here, make sure to leave a like on this review, and I will see you guys in the next video.